And we are back with part 2 of Game Week 33 after a weekend full of drama, as always. We had a couple of big upsets in the Premier League, which we will get to in a moment. But I have to quickly mention, of course, the FA Cup semi-finals. Liverpool and Chelsea getting through. A prediction for that match will be available when the Premier League game week coincides with it, so there will be an FA Cup final prediction at some point in one of the upcoming videos. But I have to mention Pep Guardiola's tactics going into that game. It seems that he's just made the decision that the FA Cup is the least important trophy for them right now, and I understand that. They're obviously fighting for a Premier League title very closely with Liverpool, and of course competing in the tougher route to the Champions League final. So if they go on to win both competitions, keeping all of their key players fit, then fair play to Pep for sacrificing the FA Cup in that regard. But I have to say, if I was a Man City fan, especially one of those travelling down from Manchester, given all of the train cancellations, it was obviously a very difficult journey to get to Wembley and back at the weekend for them. I think I would feel incredibly let down by my manager, considering the way he approached that game, and they'd have spent all that money to get there just for that. But thankfully it didn't take too much away from the entertainment, but in terms of the overall outcome of the game, it was pretty inevitable Liverpool were going to win that. But fair play to them. Like I say, they will go on to face Chelsea in the final. Now back to the Premier League. As you know, this is a two-part episode. We are approaching now part 2, the midweek fixtures. But before we get into them, let's have a look at Game Week 33, part 1 results. So these were the games that were played over the last couple of days. These were my predictions, and these were the results. And, well, it really was an interesting weekend. An amazing win for Brighton. 2 back-to-back wins in North London. They now go on to face City, so could they have a massive say in the title race, as they already have in the race for the top 4. Same with Southampton, getting off of their 5 straight defeats, getting a win against Arsenal. Probably lucky to do so, but fair play to them. And finally, I have to mention as well, a brilliant performance from Burnley under Mike Jackson and Ben Mee. I really didn't think they would get a result there. I predicted 3-0 before what I think is an atrocious sacking of Sean Dyche. I wouldn't have changed my prediction on that. I still would have gone for 3-0 West Ham. But overall, a very interesting weekend. My first correct prediction for a while in Newcastle-Leicester, albeit with a 95th minute winner from Bruno Guimaraes. But that is a game week overall score so far of 5. So hopefully we can push beyond, maybe get into double figures for the first time in a little while after part 2. Let me know, as always, in the comments how you got on with part 1. And let's move in to those part 2 predictions. Now, I'm going to leave Liverpool Man United for a moment, and I'll explain why when I get there. But I'm going to leave Man United Liverpool for a moment. So we'll start with the Wednesday games. We have Chelsea and Arsenal. And on current form, I always try and make my predictions based on current form. There really is only going to be one winner here, and that is Chelsea. Arsenal look absolutely all over the place at the moment. They may feel a little bit unlucky, like I said, in the results section, because Fraser Forster made some wonder saves in that game. But for whatever reason, all that spark and energy they have seems to have dissipated since the international break. And on the flip side, Chelsea have responded really well to the defeats to Brentford and Real Madrid. Come back stronger. Timo Werner starting to look like the player that they originally signed. He's been fantastic the last 2 weeks. So I can only really see this being a Chelsea win, and I'm going to go for 2-0. On to Everton and Leicester. Probably, I don't know, I was going to say the toughest one to call out of these ones, but maybe not. There are some tough ones coming up. But again, I have to go on current form. Leicester made a lot of changes yesterday against Newcastle. I think it was 8 in total from the Premier League and Europa League games, where they obviously won and did very well. Everton still looking to find a bit of form. They have performed really well under Frank Lampard at Goodison, but I still think Leicester are the better team right now, and I expect Leicester to get the result here. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Leicester, but it wouldn't surprise me to see Everton get all 3 points in that one either. On to Leicester's opponents yesterday, Newcastle, and they go up against Crystal Palace off the back of their FA Cup semi-final defeat to Chelsea. Will that play on the minds of the players? Potentially. Obviously, you had that massive miss from Anderson to get them back into the game yesterday. So, I don't know. Maybe the players psychologically might be a bit down. Newcastle obviously going to be on a massive high after their last-minute winner against Leicester. But I still think Crystal Palace, as I always say, are a fantastic team to watch. I think this is going to be a very, very entertaining game, very open. And as it seems to be a lot with Crystal Palace games recently, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I really can't split these two teams right now, and like I say, I think it's going to be open and high scoring, so I think 2-2 is the best place I can put that result. On to Man City and Brighton. Look, we all know I can't predict a Brighton score correctly. The only time I've predicted a Brighton score correctly in my actual memory, I'm sure someone could go back and find otherwise, is when Brighton were at home to Man City, and I predicted Man City to win and Man City won. That is the only time I can remember getting a Brighton prediction correct. So I'm going to go for that result again. I'm going to go for 3-0 to Man City. Brighton, like I say, 2 fantastic away wins in a row against Tottenham and Arsenal. But we all know City are another level above. And as we discussed at the start of the episode, Guardiola's clearly rested his key players so he can concentrate on the league. And with those players back, they should have far too much quality for Brighton. So 3-0 to City is my prediction there. And then the final game of the midweek fixtures sees Burnley take on Southampton. And I really don't know what to expect from this game. We've only had one game under the leadership of Mike Jackson and Ben Mee. They put on a decent display against West Ham, but if it wasn't for some wonderful saves by Nick Pope / some very bad misses from the likes of Antonio and Bowen for West Ham still probably would have got the win. Southampton as well, off the back of those defeats, got a very good result against Arsenal. I really, really struggle to see who can win this based on current form. Both teams are defending reasonably well without attacking relatively well. So with that said, I'm actually going to go for a 0-0 draw. Obviously, the worst part of a 0-0 draw is the moment that one team scores. Your prediction is already finished. But I don't know. I don't really see either team causing the other that many problems. So I think 0-0 is the fairest result. And finally, we will go back to tomorrow night's game, which is, of course, Liverpool against Manchester United. Now, earlier on in the season, I predicted Liverpool to win 4-1 at Old Trafford, and as everyone knows, it finished 5-0. And I have to go into this game with the knowledge, as a Manchester United fan, that Liverpool won 5-0 at Old Trafford. We're now got to travel to Anfield under the lights, the worst atmosphere in Premier League football. And Liverpool are playing better and have signed better players from when they beat us 5-0. And we are playing worse with a team full of injuries. So, realistically, it's going to be even worse than what it was at Old Trafford. However, I am a Manchester United fan. I have some respect for the club that I love. So, out of 89% respect for Manchester United, 10% hope that we might get a result, and 1% genuine belief that we might get a result, I am going to say 2-1 Manchester United. However, for those people that just come onto these videos and look at my predictions and then make their decisions accordingly, I would put little asterisks saying I actually think United will get thrashed, because we all know realistically that they will, but I don't care about getting 1 point on my predictions just to besmoke my club. I'm not going to do it this time. I would much rather get 0 points backing Manchester United to win than get 1 point or 3 points predicting Liverpool win 5, 6, 7-0 or even more, because it really could be. So that's what I'm going for. 2-1 Manchester United. Come on, United. Let's get the result at Anfield and stop Liverpool winning the league. And that is it. That will conclude Game Week 33's predictions. As always, let me know down in the comments how you're getting on and what you think is going to be the scores for Part 2. Drop a like if you do enjoy this series. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week for Game Week 34.